Welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at Module 1, but we're also going to discuss module creation and course development. You'll notice that all of my modules are very consistent as far as formatting goes. At least the overview of the module, what I like to call it, very consistent. I give learning goals and outcomes, resources. I show the student how they're going to be graded on assignments and how we're going to evaluate learning. This is very, very important. This comes from the fact that I use learning guides when I develop my courses. And learning guides are based on the main course objectives. And then we take the content, we divide the content into its main areas. We break it up essentially into those modules that we eventually create. And then the module itself has to fit into those course objectives. And then we develop objectives for the module itself. And each module is based on a different part of the content, and so it can be taught differently. The course doesn't have to be taught the same way throughout the entire course. Each module can be different. The content's different, so why not gear the teaching methods to the content and how it can be delivered in the best way that will promote learning and really get the cognitive gears working. That's how I like to design my courses, and I really think it's one of the best ways to design courses. It has to be objective focused, and it has to be learner focused, and it has to be feasible as well as far as the tools that are available to the students and the teachers. But developing those learning guides also really gives you a solid foundation, not only for developing the entire curriculum, but it makes it easy to update the course later on. And all of your information can be contained in those learning modules. It's very easy to create a course syllabus once you have those learning guides as well. So that is what I recommend to do, and it's a great way to design your course. Now in this particular module, students are going to learn how to define the term internet. They're going to discuss the origins of the internet, as well as a brief history of the internet and the World Wide Web in general. I like to put my resources right out there before a module begins so that students know this is what's needed in order to complete this module. There's nothing more frustrating than arriving to the midpoint or some area in the middle of the course and realizing, uh-oh, I don't have what's needed to complete this module. What am I going to do? Well, it's pretty easy. You've got to stop learning. You've got to go find this resource, which takes time and effort. And as educators, we know what happens. The learning process stops and becomes interrupted, and it's not ideal for what we're doing. We're designing a module to be studied at once. Now, the great thing about online content is that it is repeatable, and that students can come back to it and look at it whenever they want, and they can get, they want to look at one resource over and over again, they can do that. And they can start and stop as they want. But we want them to choose when to start and stop. We don't want them to have to stop because of lack of planning on our part. So I like to put those resources out there for the students. Let's take a look at this module. We've got learning activities. This is just an outline of here's what you need to do in this module. So the main two things are the bottom two here. They're going to create a Google site, which is going to be the where they're turning in all their assignments and posting all their work. It's a great tool because I like students creating their own content because it facilitates learning in a big way. But it's also something that they can walk away with. They can take this from the course and take it with them, showcase it at another in another course, or in another way. Share it with other people. It's a great tool to use, and really does facilitate that learning, as I mentioned. They're going to participate in discussions, and they're going to develop a wiki on the internet. What is the internet? They're going to define it. They're going to post resources, images, videos, whatever kind of multimedia supports their ideas. I just created a simple image tutorial for developing, or in this case actually creating, the Google site that they're going to be using, as well as the glossary page. And on that glossary page, they're going to be putting key terms in there throughout the course. And it's a great tool because it is sortable in all of the fields, and it's digital, so we can place hypertext and images there. We're going to be linking to Wikipedia. We're going to be linking to outside resources and dictionaries. We can link to articles on that word. So it's just, it's a great tool, and it's a new experience for the students. It's like a mini research on each word. And of course, I don't use that particular word because most students tend to not like that word, research. But it really, really is a great tool. And once you get started, they really enjoy it. Okay, you can also get to setting up your Google site from here. Here's a discussion on origins of the internet. In this particular discussion, they need to outline the major evolutionary stages of the origins of the internet. For example, ARPANET. They need to pick one of those major stages of the internet's evolution and then describe it in more detail here. So they're kind of give a brief overview of the evolutionary stages of the internet and then pick one to focus on. How did that stage come about? What preceded it? And then how did it lead to the eventual development of the World Wide Web? Each one of those evolutionary or progressive steps in evolving the internet led to something else. What was its major contribution? What foundational support did that one provide so that we could build upon it and proceed to that next evolutionary step in developing the internet? This is great. I like to have them focus on just one so that they really, really learn it. And then they're supposed to read everyone else's, and they have to comment on everyone else's. So they're going to be reading all of them, but they're only going to have to really do the legwork on one. And it's going to help them in using the wiki to develop that definition and concept of the internet. I like to include, at least on the first wiki, instructions and etiquette, because in wikis, well, at least in this learning management system, you can erase other people's work, modify other people's work, and I really don't want that to happen, at least not until the end when they do it as a group, because of a consensual agreement, not because an individual doesn't like something. So I like for everyone's work to stay out there, and they tend to do a very good job with it. And that is the end for Module 1. In order to get to the next modules, all we have to do is use our navigational drop-down menu down here at the bottom, and we just move on. So it looks like our next video is going to be browsing the internet. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.